Cannabis Common Sense, the show that tells the truth about marijuana and the politics behind its prohibition.
Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Cannabis Common Sense. Our show is a production of our nonprofit organization, the Hemp and Cannabis Foundation, or THCF, and our affiliated and soon to be more active political committee, the Campaign for the Restoration and Regulation of Hemp, or CRRH. We've got an exciting show for you tonight. We have some film clips of cannabis from around the world. Mr. Tim Pate, right over here, ready to provide musical accompaniment. How are you doing, Tim?
I'm very good tonight, Paul. How are you?
Very well, very well. Then we have some interesting hemp news stories we'll be launching into in just a moment. So we'll be taking your calls, as always. So stay tuned, and let's bring out our infamous dancing cannabis leaves. Okay, tonight's first story focuses on what's in the news all over the place. The presidential campaign. Presidential candidate Barack Obama backs federal decriminalization. He said, quote, "I think the war on drugs has been a failure, and I think we need to rethink and decriminalize our marijuana laws," end quote. A newly discovered video of a 2004 appearance at Northwestern University by Democratic presidential candidate Senator Barack Obama, which he calls for federal decriminalization of marijuana, was posted online yesterday by the Washington Times. In that appearance, Obama states, quote, "I think the war on drugs has been a failure, and I think we need to rethink and decriminalize our marijuana laws," end quote. Obama continued, saying that while he supported decriminalization, he did not support the full legalization of marijuana. In contrast, Senator Obama appeared to oppose decriminalization in a 2007 Democratic primary debate when MSNBC moderator Tim Russert asked candidates who opposed then-candidate Senator Chris Dodd's support of decriminalization to raise their hands. In the video, Senator Obama is seen hesitantly raising his hand halfway before quickly lowering it again. When asked about the two different answers, Senator Obama's campaign stated that he's always supported decriminalization and that Obama misunderstood the question when he raised his hand in the debate. In that same statement, Obama's campaign reiterated the senator's opposition to full legalization, but said that an Obama administration, quote, "will review drug sentences to see where we can be smarter on crime and reduce the blind and counterproductive sentencing of nonviolent offenders," end quote. According to, well, it just appears that Senator Obama, alone among the major candidates for presidency, has the courage to state the obvious. It's time that we stop treating responsible marijuana smokers like criminals. According to a recent CNN Time Warner poll, 76% of the American people agree with Senator Obama, as well as the 48 million Americans who smoked marijuana last year. Democratic rival Senator Hillary Rodham Clinton's campaign stated that she opposes decriminalization. On the Republican side, Senator John McCain opposes decriminalization, while former Utah Governor Mitt Romney opposes both decriminalization and physician-recommended access to medical cannabis. The Washington Times story, along with the video of the two appearances referenced above, are available online at tinyurl.com/267AG2. Once again, that's http://tiny, tinyurl.com/267AG2. Our next story is from Madison, Wisconsin. U.S. investigators praise cannabinoids as a chemotherapy treatment for cancer. Cannabinoids inhibit cancer cell proliferation and should be clinically tested as chemotherapeutic agents, according to a review published in the January issue of the journal Cancer Research. Investigators at the University of Wisconsin School of Medicine and Public Health reported that the administration of cannabinoids halts the spread of a wide range of cancers, including brain cancer, prostate cancer, breast cancer, lung cancer, skin cancer, pancreatic cancer, and lymphoma. Researchers suggested that cannabinoids may offer significant advantages over standard chemotherapy treatments because the compounds are both non-toxic and can uniquely target malignant cells while ignoring healthy ones. The authors of the study concluded, quote, cannabinoids offer potential applications as anti-tumor drugs based on the ability of some members of this class to limit inflammation, cell proliferation, and cell survival. There's overwhelming evidence to suggest that cannabinoids can be explored as chemotherapeutic agents for the treatment of cancer, end quote. In November, researchers at the California Pacific Medical Center Research Institute reported that the administration of the non-psychoactive cannabinoid cannabidiol, or CBD, limits the activity of breast cancer metastasis gene ID1, stating, quote, cannabidiol offers hope of a non-toxic therapy that could treat aggressive forms of cancer without any of the painful side effects of chemotherapy, end quote. In 2006, investigators at Madrid's Complutense University School of Biology reported in the British Journal of Cancer that THC administration decreases recurrent glioblastoma multiforme, or brain tumor growth, in patients diagnosed with that disease. Far from being cancer-causing agents, cannabinoids may one day represent a new class of non-toxic anti-cancer drugs that can halt the spread of the disease without inducing the painful and life-threatening side effects of chemotherapy. The full text of this study, Cannabinoids for Cancer Treatment, Progress and Promise, appears in the journal Cancer Research. Our last story is from the Honolulu Star-Bulletin. It's written by Helen Alton, and it's published today, the 1st of February, 2008. Although marijuana for medical purposes is legal in Hawaii, patients authorized to use the plant are being hassled by law enforcement agencies and others, according to Maui Representative Joe Bertram III. The major problem is patients' access to cannabis, a gray area in the 7-year-old law, Bertram said yesterday, announcing legislation to tighten it up with better management. One of his measures, House Bill 2678 in Hawaii, being heard today by the House Health Committee, would authorize the State Department of Health to develop a secure growing facility on Maui for medical marijuana. A facilitator would make space available to patients or caregivers for a total of as many as 98 plants at one time. The second bill, HB 2675, will allow a qualified patient to use marijuana for medical purposes with written certification from another state instead of a certificate from the Hawaii Department of Public Safety. Keith Kamita, the chief of the state's Narcotics Enforcement Division, which administers the medical marijuana law, said a growing facility would violate federal law. Also, because the bill mandates that the Department of Health to control the facility, he said in an interview, quote, now it's a state agency sanctioning marijuana. Say there's a bad batch and people die or get sick, end quote. Well, Kamita's just wrong about that. There's never been a bad batch of marijuana that's caused someone to die, but you know, he's a narcotics officer, so you can understand his bias. Anyway, marijuana is still a Schedule I controlled substance and isn't allowed under federal law. Growers have to obtain a research permit from the federal and state governments. So we are hoping those bills 2675 in the state of Hawaii moves forward, that there's some progress. 12 other states have legalized marijuana and for medical purposes. And as of Wednesday, Kamita said 4,047 Hawaiian patients had received medical marijuana cards, and 368 caregivers and 124 physicians are participating in the Hawaii program. That is the end of our Hemp News segment tonight. How are you again, Tim?
Well, you know, I'm doing just fine. Although it's been a rainy, nasty week here, and if you're up above 500 feet, I understand it's just whiteout conditions all over out here on the west. So,
yeah, we've had several of our clinics closed because of snow and things. I know that our Seattle clinic was severely affected by these, what are they, avalanches that closed Snoqualmie Pass.
Oh, my.
And didn't allow our doctor to get to work there. But
well, I'm glad he's safe rather than in the avalanche.
Caught in an avalanche. Fortunately, no one was injured in that.
It can be, well, I understand it's 20 years we've had this much snow out here in the West, so if you like to ski or snowboard, that's momentous days are ahead.
Well, I was watching the news the other night, and they said that the closing of Snoqualmie Pass alone cost the Washington economy $20 million, and then the next day it closed our clinic down. Yep. So it cost us some money, too.
Yes, it did. And some patients, the ability to get their license.
That's right. Well, hopefully they'll be able to get through next week. We'll see how the weather changes.
Well,
so you've got a song for us tonight?
I just got a little ditty I think I'll play here for you.
All righty. Thank you, Tim. Well, that was sure a crystally bud that was there just as you ended the song.
That.
Boy, that
I was looking at the monitor. It's like, whoa, look at that thing.
Yeah,
nice trichromes.
Well, I think we've got a phone call. And so while you dance over here and take the chair beside me, maybe I can get that phone call. Hello, caller. You're on our show. Hello, caller.
Good evening, Paul. How are you this evening?
Very well. Is this Lex?
Can you hear me okay?
I can, yes.
Good. I was wondering, you were talking a moment ago about Obama having said something in the affirmative about decriminalization, and I was wondering if you and Tim would maybe discuss some ways that we as medical marijuana supporters can force both of these candidates before next November, force them both to come out in favor of decriminalization. And how
there have been efforts to that. There have been a specific group of people that stalked all the candidates. I don't want to say stalked exactly, but followed them for the purpose of trying to get their views on medical marijuana. During the New Hampshire campaign, since all the presidential candidates go there, and they've got those videos and posted them out to the internet. The thing about it is, all the Democrats, and now we've only got 2 of them left, but they all were supportive of medical marijuana, and every single one of them said they would end federal raids on medical marijuana patients and medical marijuana dispensaries in California, which has been a big problem. And, they've been raiding some dispensaries up in Washington State as well. So the Republicans, on the other hand, were unanimously in support of marijuana dispensary raids and patient raids, and didn't have any moves toward decriminalization.
I think that we need to be gonzo.
We got to get in their face somehow.
We have to get in their face. We must absolutely have, like I remember when Clinton was running the first time way back when, when I say we, I mean me and Bill Condi and several other people, we had the opportunity to go underground. And basically, when Bill Clinton came down to Matt Court in Eugene, we all made signs that looked just like the Clinton-Gore signs, but ours said, free hemp, hemp now, and all things like that. And so we positioned ourselves all over those crowds and made certain that we handed out plenty of placards, and everybody there was really vocal, and we turned it into a hemp rally rather than a Clinton rally. And I think that we need to do that every time we get in public now. Whenever these politicians are out there, we need to be right up front. This is our lives we're talking about. We're talking about a freedom that that we it's not really a freedom. It's not even a right.
Well, it should be right.
It should be because it's a quality of life.
Fiber, more protein, more food, and more medicine than any other plant on the planet, and it's illegal, and it shouldn't be. And that's just plain evil.
When I see the report that you did tonight, about the cannabinoids and how those stop cancer, and I know that my government is fighting an element that could stop cancer, and we have cancer. 1 out of every 3 people in this country are affected by cancer.
More prevalent. Did you say something there, caller?
Absolutely. That's the point that I was making about the fact that it is a harmless. In fact, it's not even a harmless herb. It's
beneficial.
Beneficial.
It's
therapeutic
good for
herb.
you.
I mean, you could put it in your spaghetti sauce or whatever, and we'd all be much happier for it.
And it makes you live longer. That's the thing. If you don't use any marijuana at all, and you're going to live longer if you do use marijuana. And so I can't see why the government has it illegal, except it's all about money and politics and control.
But I really think we got to get Gonzo. To answer your question, we have to be in their face now. This is a major election year, and we have the ability to swing. The last time we had these elections, we were in that 80 percentile. When you look at a bell curve of public relations and you see the population, that first 2% of the people that never, ever want to change their mind, and the next 18%, they might go along, but it's that middle 80%, right in that middle. If you can get that middle group in there, you win. And the last time they had votes, we were over 50% on any of our margins. And because of that, I know that we're into that middle big group. We're into the popular opinion. And popular opinion means there are a lot of people out there who agree with us. It's just that last 2% who own the guns and the power who don't necessarily agree with us. And we need to change their mind by the popular vote. That is the only way to get them out of office. And we must do that.
Absolutely.
Another thing is to contact your local media.
Point of fact.
Contact your local media. Let them know that we want more stories about this. We want this issue addressed, and we want it to be treated respectfully. And we don't want to see medical marijuana patients treated like there's some low life. And unfortunately, a lot of times that's what the media does. And the way the media portrays us, it has a lot to do with the way the politicians turn with the wind.
It's true. But we're not a circus. It's not a circus.
Yeah, and that's what this show's about. Trying to get information out there and to present an image that and positive and truthful information, scientific information that shows that marijuana prohibition's time is over. So I want to thank you for your call, and if you're out there and you
thank you, gentlemen.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thanks for calling.
I know we lost another politician this week. Dennis Kucinich decided to drop out. He's a friend of this show.
Yep. He steered people toward Obama. I know that.
He did.
Went off. And so if you are out there and you have a question for us tonight, we are taking your phone calls. Just call us at 503-288-4448. That's 503-288-4448. I think they were using some sky cam up there a while ago. I couldn't figure out where that was at. Got one hanging up there. I think we got another caller. Let's try that again. Hello, caller. You're on the show.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Is this Paul?
Is this Lex?
Yes.
How are you, Lex?
I can barely hear you on our end.
Well, I can hear you just fine.
Yep, we can hear you.
So you wanted to tell us about our after-show get-together.
Yes, this evening, Captain Puff, I'm his concierge, has the cult classic They Live, starring Rowdy Roddy Piper. And, of course, we've got some great tunes from all over the planet. Of course, Captain has got his eclectic taste. And, of course, it's going to have your whole crew there. So,
yep,
of
we
course,
always,
people
and
can
we're
come
starting
down,
to do
enjoy the party, and, of course, meet the crew.
Right. Yeah, you are invited to come down to Lex's place at 6 Tillamook. That's 6
That's 6 Northeast
Tillamook Street, right at the corner
we're
of
on the
6th
southeast corner
Williams.
of Tillamook and Williams.
Yeah, it's about 4 blocks north of the Rose Garden, right in there. Not that far.
Yeah, just across the freeway from the Rose Garden and Memorial Coliseum. So
Yep,
we'll be doing
easy
that every
on,
Friday
easy
after
off.
our live
North
shows.
or south,
TV
right off the Rose Quarter exit.
Yeah, the Rose Quarter
3
exit.
blocks north of Broadway.
It's 6 Northeast Tillamook Street, and we'll be there from about
Tillamook and Williams.
9:15 onward till midnight or so. And if you're out there, you want to come down
So we hope
and
to see
meet
you
our
here
crew
soon.
and get involved. We also open up our TV show to live audience. So if you want to come, I know tonight we've got about a dozen people over here watching the show, and you're welcome to come down any night, any Friday night. We're live at 8, so you want to get here a little bit before 8. And it's at 2766 Northeast MLK, or Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, right at the corner of Graham and MLK. That's Graham, like the cracker, and Martin Luther King Jr.
It's just
Well,
a
we'll
block
see you all
north
here
of the
soon,
Nike
Paul.
store.
Say that again,
Starts
Lex?
at 9:20.
9:20.
9:20 for They Live, starring Robbie Ronnie Piper.
All right. We'll have to check that one out. And I'll see you there just shortly after
See
the
you
show.
there, or be square.
All right. That's 6 Tillamook Street, Northeast Tillamook Street. So should be fun. We'll start having a real crowd there, I think, after a while, once the word gets out and the weather gets better.
There you go.
Yeah, if you're out there and you have a question for us tonight, call us at that number there on your screen. It's 503-288-4448. That's 503-288-4448. I want to say that last week's guest, Russ Belleville, has a significant birthday this evening. He's reached the big 40, or 40 years old. So we want to say happy birthday, Russ.
Happy birthday, Russ.
Yep. I think they're out there watching us. He's got that party going on.
Birthday.
All right, we have another caller. Hello, caller. You're on the show. Can you hear me, caller?
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yep,
Yes.
we can.
I can barely hear you guys.
We can hear you
Anyway,
fine.
I have a question about seeds. I've got some seeds of some pretty good stuff I've been saving for the past year, and I want to plant them. And is there a certain way that you treat them to make them female or male, or are they in the seed form? Are they already going to be what they are, or do they turn male or female? Judging by the conditions, like alligator eggs or crocodile eggs, if they're like
Good
1
question.
degree
Good
higher, they're going to all be males.
Like alligator eggs. No, they're not like alligator eggs.
So I was
But,
just curious, how can I ensure that these are going to be
There
female?
are some plant hormones, specific plant hormones, that are sold to sex your seeds and are to make them more likely to be female. However, a lot depends on genetics. If it's got the right makeup to be male or female, then it's probably going that way, unless you can find one of these plant hormone treatments out there. I'm not sure what. I think it's gibberellin is the.
Get it over there
I
on
don't
Stark,
know.
Washington,
Yeah.
over there.
It's a plant hormone called gibberellin that it's treated with, and
Okay.
that makes it turn
Are-
a much higher percentage female.
Are the bigger seeds, the bigger, healthier, big fat seeds, are those more likely to be male or female?
No, it's just impossible to say.
You
from
have a
that.
pair of
The more-
dice.
Anyway,
A dice. Just if you have a pair of dice, then that's just as good a judge.
I got you. It's a flip of the coin. It's
It
like-
is.
Yeah.
It is.
Generally, the bigger they are, the more indica they have.
Anyway,
So the smaller, the more
you know, the
sativa.
reason that pot is not legal is because of money, greed, hate, and delusion. Because the rich, rogue people of this planet, not just George Bush, Dick Cheney, Rumsfeld, Cantilever
All those
Rice,
petrochemical people.
well, literally, the plant can save the planet.
You're right.
And I don't know. We live in an insane world. It's just like, there's farmers out there, committing suicide because they can't sell their stuff because they want to import everything here. So we're forced to buy their food. And if you try to grow your own food here, they're gonna make that illegal. They're building so many prisons. They're building a huge mega prison up in Madras. Anyway, I'm gonna take a 420. I'll
All
talk
right.
to you guys later.
Sounds like you're ready for it. I can understand. It gets pretty scary when you think about the huge prisons they're building, and
That's a big industry.
It is.
It's
and
a
growing.
scary industry, growth industry. It's a scary thing. It is.
Exactly
We have
right.
more people in prison in this country. How many people do we have in prison over the last 10 years for marijuana?
Well, every year it's over 800,000 now annually.
Yeah.
You know, we broke 800,000 marijuana arrests last year, and it's been building up. It's gotten bigger and bigger every single year since 1960.
Yeah, on the back of Keith Stropp's business card, he has that graph you just described.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
like
my
a-
word, oh, my
One of
word.
those kind of curves. You know, we have a film clip we're going to roll now, and we'll be back and talk about it here in just a minute, but I hope you enjoy this.
Clip
Stay
the film.
tuned.
Do we have any more of those pork rinds up there?
I don't know how you guys eat that crap.
The stop and go in Schranksville was all out of wheat gluten tofu bars.
Hell, it's your colons.
Why are you so interested in my colon?
Brenda tells me you have enough colon fixation for the three of us.
Hey, those are Daryl's videos.
What's in this stuff anyways? Damn it!
Oh, crap.
Oh, this really sucks.
Everyone chill out and we'll be fine.
Is everything put away?
Yeah.
I think so.
Everything's cool, we'll be fine. We were probably just speeding or something.
We weren't going that fast.
License and registration, please.
Could you grab my registration out of the glove box?
Kids going to the concert?
Yes, sir.
Do you know why I pulled you over?
I guess I was speeding, sir.
You know how fast you were going?
I don't know, maybe 45.
Clocked you at 50. Do you know what the speed limit is on this road?
I think it's 30 miles per hour, sir.
That's right. Which means you were driving 20 miles per hour over the speed limit. Did you know that I could arrest you for driving that fast?
But it didn't seem like we were driving
Did
that
you
fast.
know that I could arrest you for driving that fast?
No.
You have any alcohol or illegal drugs in this car?
No, sir.
What about your friend? Looks a little out of it. Son, are you feeling all right? You look a little spacey.
I'm just a little nervous. It's all.
Nervous? Well, you shouldn't be nervous unless you have something to hide, right? Son, is there anything you want to tell me? All right, everyone step out of the car, please. You don't have any drugs in here? You don't mind if I take a look, do you?
No.
Damn, this car's disgusting. You guys are a bunch of animals. I'm just trying to make a living here. I don't know why you gotta make me dig through all this crap. Jeez, it smells like Bob Marley's ass in here. You kids been toking the reefer or what? Who belongs to this?
That's mine.
You don't have any drugs in here.
No.
You don't mind if I take a look then?
What if I say no?
All right, that is from the American Civil Liberties Union, or the ACLU, and their film Busted. Now, we play that at our offices all over the place, so if you want to come down to one of our offices, you can watch that anytime, or contact the ACLU. What they do is they dissect little incidents like this and show you what this guy did wrong, then they have him come back and do it again, only this time he does everything right and ends up not getting arrested, where in the first instance he does get arrested. And the same's true in like 3 or 4 different situations. So it's a way to learn how to assert your rights, and if you haven't been there, it's really a valuable tool to learn the right thing to say. And I can tell you one of the biggest things you can say is, I have to talk to a lawyer before I answer any questions, and never consent to a search. If they ask if you consent to a search, say no. And even if you don't have anything to hide, say no. And especially if you have any marijuana in your possession for which you can be arrested, you'd be an idiot to say yes. And so you wouldn't be an idiot, you'd just be intimidated. And so that's what they're trying to do in these cases. So remember, always say, I have to talk to a lawyer before I answer any questions, and be real persistent about that. Anyway, if you're out there and you have a call or a question for us tonight, call us at that number on your screen. It's 503-288-4448. That's 503-288-4448. And we have another caller. Hello, caller, you're on the show.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Mother Ganja.
Hey, how are you doing, Mother Ganja?
Pretty good, pretty good. Tim, that sounded wonderful earlier. That was just really perfect.
Oh, thank you.
And, you know, I'm glad that I turned you on, because I thought that Obama was against, just totally unequivocally against medical or, you know, decriminalization.
No, he is in favor of medical marijuana. He supports ending the federal raids on medical marijuana dispensaries in California.
That's big.
So that's a good one. And in the past, he said he supports decriminalization, but not legalization of marijuana. In that case, it'd be like we have our ticket system here in Oregon, where you can get a ticket for less than an ounce and not face loss of your rights or jail time.
Right. So, what about Hillary? Have we heard anything on her?
She's in the same boat, you know, only she doesn't support decriminalization at this point. Now, I remember right after Bill Clinton left office, about a week later, he said he wished he'd done something about ending marijuana prohibition.
Really?
Well, yeah, and of course you don't hear him saying that anymore right now.
Yeah, right.
But it was a week after he left office. That was one of the things he was saying. Now, he had 8 years there in the presidency to do something.
Exactly.
And then as soon as he's out of office, he says,
Right.
I should have done something.
Right, like, oh, well, we love you for that.
You know, he could have granted amnesty to the 700,000 people who are arrested for marijuana each year.
Oh, so, you know, that's crazy. And then this prison thing, that's just going to be wall to wall. Hey, I was wondering if you have heard of the Earth Box.
No. Tell me about the Earth Box.
Okay, I will. I just got one. I'm pretty excited, for being an indoor grower, and, we can't have that many. It is a self-contained medium, I shouldn't say medium, like a container. Has a 3-gallon reservoir in the bottom with an aeration screen, and a pipe comes up, so you're not watering on top. And it has you just put the fertilizer like a strip right on the top there. And, for like myself, I have a hard time, going back and forth with the gallon jugs of water, And so this way, you're not having to do it, as back and forth. But it looks like it supports 2 tomato plants. Big.
I like the way you said tomato plants there, and that's what we always try to tell people to say when they go into these grocery stores.
Yes.
You can't talk about marijuana in grocery stores.
Right.
Those are federal laws.
Right. Well, and being that that's pretty much as close as the plants grow.
Yeah.
It looks like you can put 2 in there, and it's on coasters. I'll keep everybody up on it. because for just somebody who has a little indoor, it looks like it might be a pretty cool.
Good.
You know.
How
But,
easy is it? Is it
I'm
easy
sorry?
to set up?
Yeah. It is a 2 by feet long by 15 inches wide. Holds 2 cubic feet of potting mix and 3-gallon water reservoir.
So it's a
And-
pretty big unit.
Yeah, yeah. And you can use it for years to come. I just spent $60 on the one, or you can get 3 for $110.
And so have you vegetated your plants in this, or tried to bud them yet?
Well, I just got it,
Okay.
so I
Well, if I
have,
hear anything back, you let us know. Call back
Yes,
once you
I
got
will.
some experience, and
I will. I'm
you
really
give us
excited.
feedback.
Yeah. But I better get off the line there so somebody else can get in. And
Well, thank
I
you for
don't know.
calling, Mother Ganja.
Absolutely.
All right, and Sylvia and Clay's there. I say hello.
She's waving
She's
back
waving
at
back to you right now.
She's on
Wonderful.
camera too.
All right, babe. See you guys later.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. If you're out there and you want to ask us a question, call us at 503-288-4448. That's 503-288-4448. We have a couple of show and tell items here tonight. Maybe we can get our camera to close in. Now, this is one, it's a 100% hemp wallet. And it just opens up. Everything in this thing is hemp, except this little plastic insert in that thing. But it's hemp. It says Hemp Star and a little Chinese Mata character for hemp.
I've had a bunch of those over the years. And they,
I know, they work well.
They do.
And then we've got our Living Harvest hemp milk. This stuff is yummy, and our crew loves it. And I found this as I was buying the hemp milk tonight. A healthy hemp sprouted bread. Higher health through hemp. Now, what can be, that's just great. It's great. So here it is. It's got omega-6, omega-3, and omega-9. And omega-9 and 3 are really hard to get in most diets. So there it is. And it smells good, too. I'm going to try some of this after the show. Let you know what we think. We got another caller, though. Hello, caller. You're on the show.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Great. Hi, my name's Debbie. How you guys doing tonight?
Good. Very well, thank you.
Hey, I'm a patient. I've been a patient now for about 5 years here and lived in Oregon all my life. And I was visited by the law for the first time yesterday.
Oh, my goodness.
I was just wondering.
What happened? You want to tell us? Or?
Yeah, I'd love to share this with you. Because I feel like my civil rights were violated, but I'm not sure. They showed up at my house yesterday morning about 10 a.m. I was asleep. My daughter, 16 years old, was in high school. I had brought her to school yesterday morning. And then I took some medicine. I laid down, ended up falling back asleep. My son, he's 18. He had answered the door to the officers, and they said they had to report that there was marijuana being smoked and distributed from this residence. And he was like, well, my mom's a medical marijuana patient. Hold on, I'll go get her. He was smart enough to shut the door in their faces and came upstairs and got me when I went down. I, explained to them I'm a patient. They said, can I see your card? Of course, come on in. Let him, come in the entryway there. My card expired January, so I got him the application. The one cop was real nice. The other guy was, not
the
so nice.
good cop, bad cop. They always say, they'll trade. They'll go, this time you be the bad cop and I'll be the good cop. They would make that decision before they
did a really good job. Total good cop, bad cop. Okay.
Yeah.
They at first tried to tell me the bad cop. He went outside, called dispatch, came back in, told me that prior to this, I had explained to them that they could come in and see the nursery where the lights were on 24 hours. That right now, my maturing plants, the 2 that I have that are 2 weeks from harvest, are asleep. They went to sleep at 8:15 this morning, and they'll be on at 8. Tonight. You're welcome to come back and see them. Was agreeing to show them anything else. He had came back in, told me, called dispatch, and dispatch said, they're sorry, I'm not a patient, and I, told him he made a mistake. He needs to call the Oregon Medical Marijuana Program, the Department of Human Services. He wanted to know if I had their number. I pointed out it was on the, top right-hand corner of that application.
It's right there on your card, too, on the back.
Well, and he had taken the whole application outside, my whole set of papers that I had handed him. So he did call and ended up finding out that I am a patient. Well, then he persists to tell me I'm, going to have to show him that, it doesn't matter that my plants are sleeping and blah, blah, blah. And, I insisted that, I could not do that. I explained to them the process of the growing of this plant and in the, last 2 weeks how crucial it is that, we all know we don't want light to slip in there. I've done it both ways, and I've proved it to myself. It's not a theory. It's correct. You can't let light get in there.
Right.
And these are two beautiful medicine woman plants. Bless Dave Verstappen, our first place prize winner this year. Yeah,
and he won the prize for.
Yes, he did.
Number one, twice, 2 years in a row on that one plant.
I wouldn't have these plants. But anyway, they proceeded to tell me that I had no choice. I had to show them the they wanted to see out there in my garage, but just in the nursery. So I was willing to let Bad Cop come out in my garage with me and see, in my little room where the light's on 24 hours. I only have one mommy plant and 10 babies right now that we had just taken babies 2 days prior. Nice, clean little room with just one beautiful little mommy in there. I'm way under, the limit. I'm working with a very small space. I'm just one patient providing for myself.
Mm-hmm. That's difficult. It's very difficult to garden for just one patient. Stay within the limits.
So what did they end up doing?
Well, they ended up telling me that, well, he shined his light. After I had specifically said not to shine the light directly on the black curtain, the minute he got in my garage, he shined his beam right on the black curtain. And I just reacted, and I kind of reached up, tapped his arm with the flashlight down, said, no, don't, I said you can't, and he freaked out, was like, don't touch me, don't,
you shouldn't never do that. You should never touch them in their immediate.
The thing to do is to say, Bad Cop, no donuts.
I said, yeah, you don't. I said, don't shine the light on my plant. So at this point, I said, you know what? I give you an inch, you take a mile, that's it. You can't see nothing. Get out of my house now. You have no right to be here. I need to talk to a lawyer. This is wrong. And blah, blah, blah. At that point, I came in my house. He followed me. The other cop shut the garage door, and he proceeded to tell me no, he didn't have to leave. He had every right to be here, and told me that I would open that curtain and I would show him, or they were going to go get my minor child, my 16-year-old daughter, from her high school, and she would be going to foster care, and that if I didn't show him, I would definitely be showing Mr. Detective that was on his way out to my home from the West Side Narcotics Interagency, narcotics team, the WIN team that's out here in Hills Burrito. So they, pretty much scared me pretty bad. I was...
That's what they're trying to do. With their good
it
cop,
worked.
Bad cop kind of head game. It's a head game. That's what they're playing on you.
Did they eventually leave?
They did. I ended up, with 4 of them in my house. I, basically told them, they'll have to go get my daughter and put her in foster care because I'm not unzipping the curtain. We're not, my daughter would kill me. We're not going to ruin my medicine for the next several months because they're idiots,
Right.
So... Nevertheless, they did get a search through my whole house. My son even had to open my nightstand drawers up next to my bed for him, and, all through my closet where I have my dried medication. Areas in my home where nobody has ever seen.
Well, that's why I always tell people the police are not going to do anything to help you. They're not going to water. They're not going to transplant. They're not going to trim. They're just going to try to figure out a way to hurt you.
Yep.
So the best thing to do is to not even open your front door to them. Talk to them through a closed front door.
Exactly.
And tell them, I have to talk to a lawyer before I answer any questions. And any lawyer will tell you, do not consent to a search. Do not agree to anything. And invoke your right to talk to a lawyer before you answer any questions or before they do anything at all. And
absolutely.
So you learned the hard way
Exactly.
what
And,
it's
you
like
know,
to let them into your home. And,
Exactly. Patients, have got to realize when you're put on the spot like that, even though we're not doing anything wrong, we have permission to be doing it. We're in compliance. We have nothing to hide. Do not let them in your house.
they're not going to do it. They're not nice. They're, like you said, they're going to go through your house and they want to look in places where no one's ever even been to before. Probably they went and saw things you hadn't seen in your house in several years.
Yep. They sure
And
did.
so,
not just my room, in my son's room, my daughter's room. They ended up out in my backyard, and I felt like they were casing the place, truthfully. Especially with all the questions that ended up being asked, and then goofy me. I spilled
That's
my
where
guts.
you got to invoke that right.
Yeah.
Once you say, "I will not answer any questions until I talk to a lawyer," or "Don't ask me anything," they are supposed to stop asking questions. It's really the only way that you can
but unfortunately,
get them to leave you alone.
and
It's one of the
that's
few
why,
rights we have left.
There you go. That's why we have to realize they're not gonna back down. We've got to stand our ground. I stood my ground, didn't unzip my curtain and let the light get into my room, but I let them in my house. And that's the last thing we want to do. Stop them at the front door. Remember, even though you're not doing anything wrong, you have nothing to hide. Do not let the law in your home.
Yeah, because they are not going to do anything to help you at all.
No, they told me, it was just ridiculous. It took up 2 hours of my morning, stressed me and my son out, and for what? They should have been out busting some drug dealers.
Right.
So.
Right. Or some thieves,
anyway,
even
I just
better.
wanted to share that story with you guys and tell you all to remember to practice your civil rights.
That's
Stand
right.
up for yourself. Do not let them in your home. I made the mistake of doing that, and it's a real
Not without a
violating
warrant.
feeling. Exactly. Now, if they have a warrant, we have no choice, right?
That's right. Just get out of the way and say,
Allow
I have
them
to
to do their
once
job.
again, invoke your right to not answer any questions or say anything until you talk to a lawyer. Like I said, the lawyer will tell you don't say anything and don't consent to any sort of search.
Once I had let them in my home, and then I changed my mind and said that's it, did they still...
Once you've let them in, it's very difficult to get them out.
Yeah.
It really is. Once you've let them in, you've already given consent, and you can't turn... Once you've consented to the search, you've allowed them in your home, it's very, very difficult to get them out again without...
Yeah, it sure was. It didn't matter how loud I screamed and how many names I called them. They would not leave.
Right.
So, it just doesn't pay to let them in. But anyway,
Not at all.
thanks for
They're not
letting
going to
me
do
share
anything
my story.
except tear your house up. And if they get a chance with the search warrant, they will really tear your house up.
Oh, I can
They'll,
imagine.
dump everything in all your drawers all over the place, and they'll have fun doing it. They take
That's what
a
scared me the
cruel
most.
glee in destroying your life.
Yeah, that's what scared me the most once he headed out in my garage, not just that he was shining his very bright flashlight right on the curtain. He was walking straight towards it, and I could see him. They wouldn't have unzipped it. They were just going to rip it down. And I was like, just don't let them in because you can't trust them. They're, and check this out. Got to tell you this, too. I ended up calling today then because I would like a copy of the police report. And come to find out that the cop, Hammer, out here in Washington County, he failed to mention that I had asked them to leave my home. And I didn't just ask once. I asked
Imagine
2, 3,
that.
5 times.
Just imagine that they would fail to remember that.
Yeah, it's like I sensed a dirty cop. I felt it, and I confirmed it in my
They're trained to do
everything.
that. They are
He lied
trained
in
to
his
violate the
police
rules
report.
and do anything they can to try to get you in jail.
Yeah, it's like the Gestapo. It really is. So
Yeah.
just be careful, patients, because we have every right to be doing what we're doing. So, and I protected my babies. I'm a good mom.
All right. Good work.
Thank you so much, guys.
And the next time you'll know, and you're a great
it'll
example
never
for
happen
folks
again.
out
They'll
there.
have to have a warrant to get through my front door.
Exactly.
And besides that, now I have a little firearm for protection, so I feel better. I've never felt the need to have one, but now that these dirty cops have been in my home and seen everything, a friend came through with a nice firearm, so I can sleep at night and know that when my back door kicks in, I don't need to worry about, can't trust them.
We have the right to bear arms, not to to be in a militia, but to protect ourselves from the government.
Exactly.
That's what George Washington said.
I've never
The surest
wanted one in
guarantee
my
of
home
freedom
till
is
now.
the right to bear arms.
Never thought I'd feel the need to have one, but now that I do, I feel like I can. I'm cool with it. They know that it's 2 weeks from harvest anyway. So.
They often, a lot of Jewish people like to bring up the Holocaust. If one Jewish person had taken out one Gestapo person, I don't think there would have been enough Gestapo to carry out that final solution that we hear about so often.
Yeah, just too bad it didn't work out that way, huh?
Well,
I'll let the
never
next caller
again.
get through. I tried for a while, so thanks so much.
All right,
Sorry
thanks for your
we can't
call.
join
Thanks
you
for that
at the
information.
after-hours party tonight, but like Tim said, as soon as the weather warms up, we'll see you on a Friday evening.
All right, sounds good.
Thanks, you guys. God bless. Bye-bye.
Thank you. So, yeah, that's just the story that we often warn people about. If you let them in, you can't get them out again. And once you've consented to, once they get in past your door without you demanding they stop, you've given consent, and it's difficult to take consent back at that point. It's demand they get out. And, of course, like she said, they aren't going to talk about how you told them to get out.
Right.
They're going to lie. And
unfortunately,
they're trained to lie. That's the terrible thing. That anytime we have interactions with these people, they are dishonest. And we have to deal with these dishonest police officers, and they're trained to be dishonest.
I'm going to come to the defense of the police right now. I am. Because they're taking some heat right now. But quite frankly, I've had my whole life. I know that in every profession, everywhere, there are good people and there are bad people.
Well, the thing is, Tim,
and
the bad ones go into narcotics.
I ran a crisis center 17 years.
But the bad ones go into narcotics.
And I had to deal with good people on a regular basis.
Right.
When I had my incident with the interagency narcotics team here in town, the first thing I said to them when they came to my door was, "You forgot to check the registry with the health department, didn't you?" Because, the first, and it totally disarmed the situation because they knew immediately. I knew my rights. I knew the law. I understood what was going on. That they came to my door. They didn't have a warrant. They just was on a knock and talk. We heard that there was an illegal marijuana grow here, or we heard that there was distribution from here. Or we heard that there was marijuana smoking here. Well, so what? What have you heard? Who cares? You got a warrant?
Right.
That's really the issue.
Let's take another phone call. Hello, caller. You're on the show. Hello.
Hello.
My name is John.
Hi, John.
And I'm from Corvallis. I'm up here for a night in Portland, and I'm very grateful to see a show like this. I wish we could get it in Corvallis.
Well, John, you can. If you want to help, call this number. We can put this show, with your help, we could put this show on cable television in Corvallis. It is available on the Internet at our website, hemp.org. That's www.hemp.org. But with someone in the community, we could send you DVDs that you give to your local cable access people, and they can play that show. So call this number. It's 503-235-4606. That's our office number. There it is on your screen. 503-235-4606. And we can get it on down there in Corvallis with your help.
Yes.
So did you have a question for us?
Yes. The question I had, now, I've been smoking for 51 years. I'm 71 years old. And I've always heard that, and I didn't know if it was an urban legend or not, that the reason that marijuana is criminalized is because they can't tax it. Is that true, or is it an
No, they can tax it. It can be taxed. The reason I believe that marijuana is illegal is because hemp produces over 300 gallons of oil per acre. And the petrochemical industry has created this myth around hemp and renamed it and called it marijuana, and were able to criminalize this new deadly drug, marijuana. When they criminalized it, the folks in the legislature that criminalized it did not even realize that it was the hemp that they were growing back on their farms for fiber and oil. But the fact of the matter is, it's all about money and the continued centralization of economic and political control.
Wow. Well, I'm going to work very hard to do all the things we talked about initially here, to get these things down in Corvallis. I want to make sure. It's a great little town. And,
it is. I've spent some time there.
Well, we're
went and
very
talked to
liberal.
a high school class one day on Earth Day back in the 90s.
Oh, that's nice. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks
Bye-bye.
for your call. And
All right.
believe me, if you want to help us get our show on down there, call that number on your screen there, that 503-235-4606. Well, I just want to run down the list of conditions. If you're out there and you think you might qualify for medical marijuana, all of these conditions right here on your screen could get you qualified. Chronic pain, chronic and severe pain, is the largest single category. Also, conditions that cause chronic nausea, AIDS, glaucoma, IBS, which is a gastrointestinal ailment, as is Crohn's disease and GERD. All of those gastrointestinal ailments cause spasms and nausea, and therefore qualify for medical marijuana. Things that cause seizures, like epilepsy, that qualifies for medical marijuana, as do spastic conditions like multiple sclerosis and neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. Hepatitis C causes both pain and nausea and qualifies, as does cancer. So any of those conditions, including glaucoma, can qualify you for medical marijuana. Now, if you don't know how to approach your doctor, or you want a referral to a doctor who is cannabis friendly, then we have a referral service here in Portland. You can call us at that number there on your screen. It's 503-235-4606. That's 503-235-4606. If you're up in the Seattle area, our Seattle number is 206-878-1701. That's 206-878-1701. Now, if you're over in Denver, and this show's the most popular cable TV show in Denver, Colorado, then you can call our Colorado office, our Denver office, at 303-403-9996. That's 303-403-9996. And if you're down in Southern California, we now have a new Southern California office. The number there is 951-782-9898. That's 951-782-9898. Now, if you're outside of those metropolitan areas, but you want help finding a doctor in Oregon, Washington, California, Colorado, Nevada, or Hawaii, then call our toll-free number, that 1-800-723-0188. That's 1-800-723-0188. And we'll be happy to help. So I want to just thank you for watching. We're going to go out with Mr. Tim Pate singing us another song, and maybe some views of some more luscious cannabis plants. You ready to go there, Tim?
Anytime you say, Paul.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you folks for watching. Tune in next week. And remember, help us restore him. Restore him. We will do it with your help. Thanks, Tim.